How is it going, everybody? You're watching Then About Tech, and today I have a slightly different video but a pretty fun one, because today I'm gonna list the 3 cheapest Apple products you can buy and the 3 most expensive ones. And I'm sure you have thought about this at least once in your life, and today I'm gonna kill your curiosity. So let's start, let's not waste any time, and first let's start with the 3 cheapest Apple products you can buy. And please keep in mind that I'm gonna talk about the cheapest stuff you can buy that's Apple branded, that's made by Apple. So of course it's not gonna be an iPhone or an iPad, it's the cheapest stuff Apple makes. All right, so let's begin. And in third place, at $9.99, you can buy a MagSafe to MagSafe 2 converter. If you are an old Mac user like myself, you have probably seen the first generation of MagSafe, and then Apple released the second generation and they weren't compatible anymore. So then they created this adapter, this converter that costs $9.99. Next, the second cheapest Apple product you can buy is actually another adapter, but this time is a USB Type-C or the Lightning to 3.5mm headphone jack. So we actually have 2 products for the same price costing $9. And in first place, the cheapest Apple product you can buy is the AirPods Pro ear tips. That's right, those guys right here, the tips on your AirPods Pro. As you know, if you pull them out, they come out, and then you can buy just the tips, and Apple will gladly sell you replacement units. Over time, they get yellowish and the texture gets a little bit weird, so then you can buy replacement units for $7.99. So that's the cheapest Apple product you can buy, and that's actually a pretty good deal because it comes in 2 sets. So you get 2 sets of small, medium, or large. So you get 4 of those units, 2 sets for left and right. Now let's talk about the real deal, the 3 most expensive products Apple will sell you. And let's get started with the third most expensive one, which is of course the MacBook Pro 16 inches, the new MacBook Pro with the M1 chip. And if you have it maxed out with all the upgrades and all the options, it will set you back $6,099. So $6,100 for a MacBook Pro. So let's talk about how it gets so expensive. How much are those upgrades? So you'll see right here that I'm gonna mirror my iPhone's image. So then we'll take a look as if we were buying this Mac, and we're gonna upgrade, and I'm gonna talk about all the upgrades with you. Let's do it together. So as you can see here, we are on Apple's website. Let's go here to Mac, and then let's go ahead and choose our MacBook Pro. Let's tap on that, and as you can see here, we have a few options. Of course, the first option is the one we want, so let's tap on buy so we can go straight ahead and take a look at the options that we have. Right here is the option to choose your MacBook Pro. Let's go for 16 inches, of course, because those are the most expensive ones. And then if we scroll all the way down, you'll see here, keep going, you'll see here the M1 Max model. So that's the best performance. That's the most expensive you can get. You can't get the M1 Ultra on the MacBook just yet. So the M1 Max is the best processor you can get right now, and of course the most expensive one. And it'll set you back $3,500 without any other upgrades. So if we select that, then is where the upgrade begin, and then is where we'll see the 6,000 markup. So if we scroll down, you can see that we can upgrade the memory, so from 32 gigabytes to 64 gigabytes, that's $400. Then the storage from 1 terabyte to 8 terabytes, so there's another $2,200, and then that's pretty much it. Because as you can see, the rest is just pre-installed software, which I'm not gonna pick for this video, because not everyone's gonna use that. Okay, so as you can see right here, seeing everything, selecting those 2 options, we have a total amount of, as you can see at the top, $6,099. It's pretty small here on the Apple website. So then the third most expensive product. Now let's go to the second one, the second most expensive Apple product you can buy, which as I said is another Mac, and that's the Mac Studio. So if we tap on Mac once again, that's right, the Mac Studio, which is just a box, is actually more expensive than the highest end MacBook Pro. So that will set you back fully spec'd fully 100% upgraded, $7,999. So $8,000. And that's just the box. You don't get anything else. You don't get a mouse, you don't get a trackpad, you don't get a monitor, you don't get anything, just the box, the computer itself, and a cable. That's it. So let's talk about that in a second. So as you can see here, Mac Studio from $2,000, so starting price. If we tap on buy, then let's take a look at the upgrades that we can, and of course choose the models and everything like that. So as it loads, as we scroll down, you can see that we have the M1 Max option, but as we keep scrolling, we have the M1 Ultra. As I said, that's the only Apple device that you can get right now with the M1 Ultra processor. So if we select that, and that's the last option, as you can see, $3,999. So $4,000 without even upgrading. So we're gonna select that option, let it load. Unfortunately, my Wi-Fi is pretty slow here today. I'm using 4G, this is terrible. So as you can see here, if we scroll down, we can take a look at the upgrades. So first, we have two options of the Apple M1 Ultra. So we have one with a 48 core or with a 64 core. So then of course, you're gonna get the 64 core option. So that's an extra $1,000. More memory, we can get 128 gigabytes for $800, which in my opinion is pretty cheap. And then of course we have storage, 8 terabytes for another $2,200. And then pre-install software, we don't need that. So as you can see right there at the top, $7,999, $8,000. And as I mentioned, this is just for the box. This is just for the computer. But of course, we need the display, and we need the mouse and the keyboard. And if we just go back here, and then if we tap on Mac once again, and this is absolutely insane. So if we go and scroll and take a look at displays, you see right here how this gets completely crazy. If we take a look at this, we have the Pro Display XDR, which is the best monitor you can buy from Apple right now, which starts from $4,099. And if we tap on that, it gets even crazier because of course we have accessories as well and other options, and we can customize the monitor as well. So as you can see here, if we choose the option with nano textured glass, that's already $6,000, so $5,999. And if we want the Pro stand, that's another $1,000. And if we want the VESA mount adapter, that's another $200. So then it goes to $7,197. Yes, $7,000 just for the monitor, which is pretty much the price of the Mac Studio itself, and it's more expensive than the MacBook Pro 16 inches that we saw before. So then if we add everything up, and if we include the mouse and the keyboard, we're talking about $15,474. So over $15,000 for the best Mac Studio experience that you can get right now. But if you're thinking $15,000 for a Mac is expensive, get ready for number one, for the most expensive Apple product you can buy right now, which is another Mac, and which is of course the Mac Pro. If you get the Mac Pro with all the bells and whistles, with all the possible upgrades, the highest end possible, we're talking about $54,000. Yep, 50, not 15, $54,000. And let's take a look at that, of course, and let's take a look at how expensive those options are, because it's absolutely nuts on the Mac Pro. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. Let's tap on Mac on our iPhone right here, and then let's go ahead and choose Mac Pro, and then get ready to be amazed. So then let's tap on buy just to make things easier. Again, sorry for the slow internet today right here. And then we have two options, the Mac Pro, the tower option, which stands on its own, and then we have the Mac Pro, the rack option, which is like a server option where you can pile horizontally, right? Let's get that option because it's the most expensive one. So it's starting at $6,499, so already $6,500. So let's configure, as you can see, and then it gets really, really crazy. So then, as you can see right here, let's talk about processor first, and then the most expensive you can get is the Intel Xeon W processor Turbo Boost up to 4.4 gigahertz. So that's $7,000. That's a $7,000 option on the processor. If we keep scrolling, we have memory, and then we can have 1.5 terabytes, and I'm not talking about storage, I'm talking about RAM memory. So 1.5 terabytes of RAM memory, that's 25 grand. If we keep scrolling, we have the graphics card, and then if we keep scrolling all the way down, we have the 2 Radeon Pro W6900X with 32 gigabytes of memory. That's the card, the graphics card. So then $11,400. And then if you keep scrolling for storage, the same 8 terabyte storage for $2,400. And then the Afterburner card, of course, because if you're editing videos in 4K and 8K and all that, you'll need the Afterburner card. So 2 grand. And then we keep scrolling. You can choose the option to get the Magic Mouse and trackpad. The keyboard already comes in the box. And then pre-installed software, that's it. So then as you can see at the top, $54,448 for the computer. And it's pretty much the same thing as we were talking about the Mac Studio. This is the computer. Even though it comes with a mouse and keyboard, it doesn't come with the display. So you still need to buy the display. So we're talking about $54,000 and an extra $7,000 if you want to get the top of the line display. So then let's see if math works right here, like 64 grand pretty much. We're talking about $64,000 including the display. So this is how crazy it gets. That's the most expensive Apple product you can buy right now, which is the same price as a really good car. So yeah, that's it. And I'll see you on the next video as usual. Bye bye.